we start the video, I want to take this time to shout out my KOG member of the month, Ryan McDonough. Big thanks for being a loyal KOG member. If you want your name here, consider hitting that join button for exclusive channel benefits. How's it going, guys? RNG Life here, and today we got a new announcement of the new box that's coming out. It's called Fortress of Gears. Now, I really didn't expect this to be like the main box card, to get a Machina Fortress or Machina Fortress. I call it Machina's Fortress because I'm a cultured lad, dude. Kind of a fool says Machina, except the people, everybody in the anime. But yeah, so we got the Fortress of Gears. It's bringing a lot of really interesting support. We got a few machine support cards and a lot of like plant support, which is kind of interesting. That along with a few more vision heroes, which is also pretty nice. But let's go ahead and look at cards in this set, and we're gonna find out what are the best cards in Fortress of Gears. Okay, first things first, we got Machina Fortress over here, Machina Fortress, whatever you call it. This guy is awesome. I'm not kidding. This guy is really good. Just as a general like big boss monster that you can summon easily, Fortress is amazing. This card is cool. I really like it. If you guys are wondering what makes this card so good, this guy basically says if you have him in your hand, you can discard a machine type monster whose levels equal 8 or more, then special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. Now, the benefit of that is that there's like a little like not really a glitch, but there's like a ruling about this guy that makes it to where you can discard himself. So you discard him to the graveyard and then special summon him from the graveyard. So that's really nice. So if you have 3 copies of this guy in your hand, you got 3 2500 beaters turn 1. On top of that, this guy has another ability that's pretty spicy. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target as well, which is super spicy. And on top of that as well, he also has another ability that says before resolving opponent's monster effect that targets this face-up card. So as soon as they target your monster with like a Brio or something, they're like, okay, let me go ahead and target that fortress. Let's bounce it back to hand. Fortress is like, hold on, boy. My effect now activates because you targeted me, and I get to look at your hand, discard 1 card from your hand. So that is pretty spicy. All these cards are they're not, all the effects are not once per turn or whatever. So if you get multiple of these guys on the field, they're really difficult to take out. I mean, the best way to take them out probably is destroying them with the spell or trap effect or something like that that doesn't involve them being targeted with a monster, or just no target destruction or banishing or whatever. But yeah, basically they're pretty scary. They're kind of big boy monsters, and it's interesting. I didn't expect Machina Fortress to be the main flagship box monster in this box. Honestly, I expected Red Dragon Archfiend over here, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, to be the main box card because he's a signer card more or less, like he's based on Red Dragon Archfiend. So it would make sense that he would be the one, but he's an SR, so I figured they were just like, you know what, no, Machina Fortress it is. So cool. Next up, we got Vision Hero FARIS. FARIS is actually really good, and I think now I know why this guy is a UR, because he sets up quite a few plays. Now, this guy's a level 5 monster, and he says you can discard 1 other hero monster to special summon this card from your hand. So you throw out another hero monster, that's fine, that's cool, whatever. If this card is normal or special summon, though, you can place 1 Vision Hero monster from your deck, dude, from your deck. Except himself in your spell and trap card zone. Now, the reason why you want to do that is because he has a little bit of synergy with your boy Vision Hero Increase over here. Now, Increase has the ability that if he is placed in the back row as a continuous trap, he has the ability to tribute a monster, aka the FARIS that's on the field, tribute it, summon himself, and then he is able to bring out another monster from the deck, a Vision Hero from the deck, which is pretty spicy, dude. So yeah, that's why I think this is a really nice combo. But aside from that, FARIS is pretty cool. I mean, he does lock you out of summoning anything other than heroes, so don't expect to go into like any I don't know, weird Alistair plays or anything. No, man, you're gonna be focusing on heroes. This is a hero only strategies. So there you go. But this guy's pretty cool. He's a once per turn, and aside from that, I think that's pretty much it. He's just, you make use of him to go into the Increase, and you don't even have to run that many copies of Increase because you can get him right from the deck, and that's pretty spicy. So Vision Hero FARIS, really good for setting up them early plays. And then the last UR in this box, since it is a mini box, is Ballista Squad. Ballista Squad, I mean, I haven't really got too much against it. It's just a very simple card to trap, so it's going to be pretty slow. You can't use it turn 1. but it does have the ability that if you tribute a monster, target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So it doesn't have to be a monster or anything, it could be a card, which I think is pretty nice. The only thing is, like, you got tribute though, so I think this would have a lot of synergy in decks that your monsters want to be tributed. For example, Psychic Ace wants to be tributed, some Cyber Angels want to be tributed because they get effects and stuff like that. So yeah, certain effects this would have a pretty good synergy with. But it's a pretty good card. You could probably splash it into quite a few decks, and it would be alright, I guess. Now, like I was talking about earlier, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, he is a big boy, and I really like this card because he has quite a few interesting plays. Now, the way you're summoning him is pretty much going to be a Red Dragon Archfiend and a level 1 tuner, which, hey, we got the new Psychic Structure Deck boy. So you can be using those guys together, and they can make this guy. Now, his beautiful effect is he has like 2 effects right here. He's also a once per turn, or hard once per turn, so you can only use each one of his effects once per turn. One of them is that you contribute one monster, target a Red Dragon Archfiend monster in your grave. So that could be another copy of Bane over here, dude. You can literally summon another copy of Bane from the grave with a Bane, which is pretty cool. So you can pretty much re-summon a Red Dragon Archfiend by tributing a monster, and yeah, that's cool. Also, when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon 2 tuner monsters with the same level, one from your deck and one from your grave. So that's cool because it lets you kind of pull stuff out of your deck. So awesome. Puts them both in defense. So you have 2 monsters, you have a 3500 beater. You know your opponent's not going to want to attack those level 1 tuners, because that would just be foolish. But if they do, I mean, you can just bring back another Red Dragon Archfiend and just beat down. But yeah, either way, you're going to be using that second effect on your next turn because your field's going to be clogged. You're going to be using his ability once again, tributing one of the tuners, bringing back Red Dragon Archfiend, and then you can synchro for another copy of Bane, and then you can go for that loop that if one of these guys were to die, you can probably bring him back with the other. So whew, that's kind of crazy, dude. Of course, you do need that tribute, but I do think Red Dragon Archfiend Bane over here, or Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, is a really cool card. Splendid Rose is a card that we've seen in Duel Links for a while. Is Akiza's, like, cause Akiza has this in her deck, but we never got it because I guess they forgot. This card is okay, I guess. It's a generic level 6. You can put it in any deck, and any level 6 can synchro into this, which is cool. But it has a lot of synergy with plants. Like, it kind of, you need to run it with plants if you want it to have its full benefit. Once per turn, you can banish 1 plant type monster from the grave, and then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and have its attack. So cool. It could be used to pretty much cut your opponent's monster in half, and then you could potentially maybe run them over unless they have a back row, which could be very scary. It has another ability though. If this card attacked, you can banish another plant type monster and cut this thing's attack in half. So you can cut it to 1100, and you can have it attack again, which can be pretty good. I mean, it seems like an okay card. It's not as good as our boy Brio, but yeah, it's still alright. Machina Gearframe, or Machina Gearframe. I like this card because this card is literally just a search for a Machina Fortress. This guy on normal summon searches a Machina monster, Machina monster. You would add your Fortress to hand, then Fortress does all his things where he discards himself, summons himself, then you equip Gearframe onto Fortress. Now Fortress is unkillable. Congratulations. You've made your boss monster more menacing. So GG. This card is pretty cool. I really like it. It basically lets you have 6 copies of Fortress. Super Soldier Soul over here. I have mixed feelings about this because this is basically their way of saying, yeah, we don't want to give you a BLS. Like, they didn't give us the boss of the archetype, maybe for a reason. I do personally believe that sometime soon, maybe within the next 2 months, maybe, I don't know, don't hold this against me too much if it doesn't happen, but this is an opinion. I do believe we might be getting a BLS structure deck because if you really think about it, it makes a lot of sense. It's a big fan archetype. People love it, dude. Fans love it. It's one of those things that people get back into Yu-Gi-Oh for. They're like, dude, I love Blackluster Soldier. He's like my favorite card from the anime. I think Konami would definitely be willing to put that in its own structure deck and be like, hey, here you go, guys. And they're going to give us a few extra cards like the boss monster and maybe a few cards that make the deck go really good, like all the ritual spells and whatever. So yeah, because otherwise, if you guys are like me, you only have 1 copy of like the original Blackluster Soldier, and I don't want to go for more copies because that card is bad. And that's the thing. I don't know. I feel like we might get more, but if you guys don't know what this guy does, this guy can basically make itself take the name of Blackluster Soldier. So cool, you can send a one Blackluster Soldier monster from your hand to the grave, and until your opponent's next end phase, so for like 2 turns more or less, this card's attack becomes 3,000. So that's pretty cool. If this card's name becomes Blackluster Soldier and he gains 3,000 attack, he becomes 3,000 attack. Cool. And you can banish this card from the grave, and you can add a beginning night or evening twilight night from your deck to your hand, and you can only use this guy's effects once per turn. So I think it's an okay card, at least for the search abilities and whatever, and it can be kind of a beater. I think that's alright, but alright, fair enough. Envoy of Chaos, though, I think this card is actually pretty legit. I honestly really like Envoy of Chaos. If it wasn't for this guy, I don't think the BLS archetype would be all there. But Envoy of Chaos makes the deck pretty spicy, mainly because he has a really interesting effect that says, during either player's battle phase, you can discard this card, target one Blackluster Soldier or Gaia the Fierce Knight monster you control, and it gains 1,500 attack until the end of this turn. And if it does, every opponent's monster that battles it this turn has its attack become that monster's original attack during damage calc only. Now, here's what I understand. Here's what I'm trying to understand. Does it make your opponent's monsters cut down to their original? So if you have a monster and it's got like 6 counters on Power of the Guardians, does it go down to its original stats and then it's like, oh crap, I've been debated? Or does it copy the stats of your original 3,000 attack BLS or 2,300 attack Gaia on the field? If that's the case, if it copies your Gaia, then they were always going to be taking 1,500 no matter what when they're attacking you, which I think is kind of spicy. I really like that. And then, of course, Envoy of Chaos also has the ability that once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the grave, you can also banish a light and dark monster and add them right back to the hand, so your opponent will know that they're about to get bamboozled on that next turn. So Envoy of Chaos is pretty cool. I like it, and it kind of reminds me of Alistair a little bit, at least for his power-up ability. Red Sprinter is really good. I will say this because of this guy's ability that says, when this card is normal or special summoned, while you control no other monsters, that you can special summon one level 3 or lower Fiend type tuner from your hand or graveyard. So if you're running all the Resonators, all the Fiend tuners that you're supposed to run with this guy can get kind of a crazy advantage. He can synchro with like 1 card, so he's really good. He's awesome. I like him. And yeah, he can use your hand or grave, so you can use them early on. The only thing is that you have to have no other monsters on the field. So if you already have a synchro monster, going into him is probably not going to be that great. I mean, he's still just a 1,700 beater, but yeah, I still think he's a really good card to have at like two copies or max if you want to just open up with it and just completely pop off. But yeah, I really like this guy. This guy is awesome. Now, a Sky Striker maneuver, Jamming Waves. Now, when I saw that this card was announced, I had to just kind of double take. I had a Nani moment, and I was like, hold on, are we getting Sky Strikers? That's impossible, dude. How can we possibly get Sky Strikers in Duel Links when we don't even have links? It doesn't make sense. It makes absolutely no sense. But what they're basically doing is they're giving us Sky Striker cards as one-off, like, cards not even part of an archetype, which is kind of interesting. So Sky Striker Maneuver Jamming Waves basically says, if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, by the way, I like how it says main monster zone, because this whole deck is about links. You have 1 link monster out and you win, basically. You usually don't really have monsters in your main monster zone, so yeah, that's how it works. So that's why this card is so good in its archetype. But yeah, so if you have an open field, you can target 1 set spell and trap on the field and destroy it. Then if you have 3 or more spells in your grave, you can destroy 1 monster on the field, which I kind of like. I think that's kind of spicy, and using it as just a one-off tech card, I think that's pretty cool. I like it. So Sky Striker Maneuver Jamming Waves, I like it, dude. And eventually we'll get Sky Strikers, but I think that'll be maybe 2-3 years off when we get links. Humid Winds is another really good card. Now, here's the thing. We got Aroma support. So Aromages now have a really good searcher in their deck. It is a trap, so it's a little bit slow, but it is a continuous. So every turn, if you really wanted to, you can pay 1,000 life points, add an Aroma monster from your deck to your hand, and then on top of that, it has another ability that says, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can gain 500 life points. You can gain. So awesome. So it's not just just like you pay life points and you're just like, crap, now I can't activate my abilities. No, it also has the ability that if your life points are lower, you can just power up a little bit. So up until you match their life points, I believe. So that's pretty cool. I think this card is awesome. It's like nice little searcher right there. And yeah, pretty cool. Wall of Thorns is the next card we're looking at, and this card is basically a Mirror Force. It's a Mirror Force for plant monsters. So, I mean, if Mirror Force was in the game, this card would be not very good unless you're running a plant deck and you can run 6 copies of Mirror Force. But yeah, Wall of Thorns is pretty neat because it says, when a plant monster you control is targeted for an attack, destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. That's kind of OP, dude. Aromages have so much support. It is kind of insane right now. It's kind of crazy how strong this deck might end up getting. Yeah, and that about wraps up all the SRs and URs in this box. Aside from that, we have a lot of one-off like rares and stuff that are pretty interesting. Like if you want to know, this is where you get the beginning and evening night. They're both rares, so pretty cool. If you're interested in them blackluster cards, well, there they are. You have a lot of really interesting stuff over here, like the Red Warg. Just a lot of stuff, dude. There's so much stuff. We got like more Aromages monsters. We got like Cactus Fighter, more plant support. We got a lot of weird stuff, dude. We got a lot of weird stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what card you are most hyped for. Even if for whatever reason it's just like a normal card in the deck, like maybe you just really like Multiply Guy or something, dude. Let me know in the comments below. But that's pretty much it for today. And if you guys enjoyed, go and leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Duel Link shenanigans. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today. Have a great day, and see you guys.